Welcome back to all you beautiful people. Today, we've reached the conclusion, we've reached the pinnacle, we've reached the end of the series of the 12 universal laws that govern our lives. And what a trip it's been. We've been through 11 thus far, and today we have the 12th and final universal law that we're going to go over in this series. And you may be asking yourself, what is the 12th and final universal law that governs our life? Well, I'm here to tell you because I've looked over them, I've read about them, studied them, implemented them, and shared them. And so today, the 12th and final universal law that governs our life is the universal law of gender. Oh, that's a big word these days. Gender. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to talk about it, but not in the way that you think we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it as how it pertains to your life and my life, as it pertains to the decisions we make and the things that we do and think in our life. So let's get started. Do you ever feel like you're running into a wall? What I mean by that is you're doing all the right things. You're hustling, you're taking action, you're creating lists, you're doing everything right, but somehow, just somehow, you're not getting anywhere. Or maybe you're the opposite. You have these big dreams, these audacious aspirations, and you just sit on them, waiting for that perfect time, that perfect opportunity to come where you're going to change your life. And yet, life just continues to pass you by day after day, month after month, year after year, and you go nowhere. You're just in the same spot, stuck with those dreams that you're gonna do it one day. But oh my, how fast one day never comes. So either way, if you're running and working and doing everything, or if you're sitting and dreaming and doing all that entails, you're out of balance. You got to have both of them. You can't have one or the other. You got to have the action and the dream in order to get to where you want to go, in order to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And this is the law of gender. But the universal law of gender is not about male and female. It's about the two energies that we all have inside of us: masculine energy and feminine energy. So your masculine energy is your drive, it's your action, your discipline, your logic, your control, your execution. This is the get shit done energy. This is the energy that can build empires. Or it's the energy that can burn you out. On the other hand, feminine energy is creativity, or intuition, or patience, or reflection. This is the trust the process energy. Now, it creates vision and inspiration, but it can also lead to just endless waiting and never accomplishing anything because you're just sitting and waiting for the right time. But when you become a master and understand both the masculine energy and the feminine energy, that is when you have control of your life. That's when you understand how things work and you blend the two of them to accomplish great things. You can't have just one or the other operating. You have to combine both of the energies in order to attain that which you seek. And when you don't, we are all guilty of this. When you use one heavier than the other one, this is when we just self-sabotage ourselves. And this is why we see so much self-sabotage throughout our lives and the lives of those around us. You see, because most people go too hard with one energy, completely neglecting the other one. And that's why their life really goes nowhere and they're just full of stress or chaos. So, for the people that have too much masculine energy, those are the people that I criticize all the time that are just grind hard, never sleep. That's too much masculine energy where you force everything, you push past exhaustion, you ignore what your gut's telling you to do because you just try to force everything. Even though your gut's telling you, hey, slow down, we're not getting anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels, a lot of movement, but you ain't covering no distance. You know, those types think, well, if I just work harder, then I'll get there. But that's a lie. Because what inevitably happens is you burn out or your relationships suffer. And then you wake up one day wondering why you're exhausted, why you haven't gotten anywhere, why things never work out for you, and you still aren't where you want to be, despite the fact you've been hustling and grinding and pushing and forcing, and you haven't gone anywhere. That's because you're forcing things. Life is about flow. Life is about ease. Life is about alignment. Like, certainly you have to do the work, but you can't ignore when your body's telling you, slow down, relax. And people push through that and force themselves through that. And again, that ends up with them being burnt out. And even if they do ultimately get to where they want to go, they get there exhausted, they get there tired, so it's very difficult for them to enjoy the moment once they get there. Now, if you got too much feminine energy, you're just always waiting for the right time. You dream and journal and visualize and meditate, but you never take action. You never do what it takes to actually step forward. You got to take action. You got to have inspired action. You have to do things. You can't just sit around and dream and hope that things fall into your lap. Doesn't work like that. People like this just overthink. They always think that they need one more piece of information. They always think that, oh, now's not the right time, or this market is oversaturated. Well, that's a belief system that you have. If you have the belief system of it doesn't matter if it's oversaturated, and that is an opinion, it doesn't matter if it's oversaturated, I can still be successful in it. You don't need more hustle. You don't need more self-care. You need a balance between the two. And that is the universal law of gender. That is matching the masculine energy with the feminine energy to create a more aligned you to accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish. So you're not really meant to just sit in one energy for a long time, whether it be masculine or feminine. You're supposed to switch between the two energies. You're supposed to think and plan and visualize, but you also need to take that thinking, that planning, and that visualizing and incorporate that into action that's going to progress you towards your goals of what you want to accomplish. Masculine energy is what will get you started. Masculine energy is allowing you to do the thing when you're scared to do it. And we've talked about this numerous times. In order to get where you're going, you may have to face some fears. But again, I've said this before, and it's a wonderful quote by the Hormozis, is fear is an inch deep and a mile wide. So we're so scared to step, not realizing we're going to be perfectly fine. And what you will soon learn is that by facing the thing that you're scared of, you defeat it. You just have to do it scared. And that masculine energy is what's going to give you the strength to do it scared. And once you do it scared, you're going to start building momentum and you're going to realize how much you've grown by doing the thing that you're scared of. It dissipates. The fear goes away because you realize, this isn't so bad after all. I mean, think about every worst case scenario. So let's use cold calling as an example because that's what I'm familiar with. What's the worst case scenario? Well, the worst case scenario is somebody's going to be mean to us or say something mean or hang up the phone. But what do we think? Well, our mind goes crazy. Our mind thinks, oh my gosh, they're going to be so mad at me. They're going to come to my house and kill me. That's not realistic. But we are that scared whenever we're calling a stranger to try to sell them something. But the worst case scenario is that they say something mean to us. But what does that matter? It's not going to hurt us physically. And we choose whether or not we allow ourselves to get offended by it. And that's the same thing with any fear. Think about this, the kid on the diving board that's terrified to jump in. And he's up there and his legs are shaking and he's looking at his mom and his dad. And we're just like, just jump. It's going to be the most fun thing you've ever done. And sure enough, they finally face their fears. They jump in the pool and they love it. And for the next hour, they jump off the diving board 1,000 times. But they were scared to do it originally, not realizing that doing the thing that they're scared of set them free. That is how life works. Doing the thing that you're scared of is going to set you free. Every single time you face fears, you build upon that, and you become a brand new human being, and it's a glorious process. So anyway, I went off on a tangent there, but that's what masculine energy is, right? It gets you started. Whereas feminine energy keeps you aligned. It knows when to pause, listen, adjust, so you don't waste time chasing things that don't matter to you. And you need both of them to win. So to break it down, if you feel stuck, you need masculine energy. You need to stop thinking, stop overanalyzing, stop waiting, and move. Take the first step, even if you're scared. You have to take action before you feel ready. Because if you just wait until you feel ready, you're never going to accomplish anything. And it won't feel safe. It will be scary. But you have to do it anyway because you're going to be fine. On the other hand, if you feel exhausted, then you need feminine energy. This is where you stop forcing things. This is where you stop ignoring your gut and you step back and you just listen for the next step, for the next guidance. Stop trying to force something that isn't working. Maybe you need to sleep or recover or just sit in that silence so that you can get the downloads that's going to guide you into that next step. So you just go, grind. And the whole time you're going the wrong way because you never stopped to listen. You never stopped to analyze and make sure that you're doing the right things. And so if you feel like nothing is working, this is your telltale sign that you need balance. You need to work hard, but you also need to know when to step back and trust the process. You need to take action, but you need to listen to your intuition when it tells you, not this action, this is the wrong thing to do. That's imperative. You need to go back and watch the video on conscience congruency because you need to get real sensitive to that still small voice that's speaking to you so that you can make the right moves. You can take the right actions. And these are inspired actions. These are actions that your gut is telling you to make. Because if you ignore your gut and you just go with your feelings, oftentimes you're going to run into a brick wall. You're going to just spin your wheels and you're not going to get where you want to go. The other thing is you need to be disciplined in what you do, but, and this is important, you need to give yourself grace. Stop looking for perfection. You can look for excellence, but you can't look for perfection. Because perfection isn't a real thing. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to get it perfect. The circumstances are never going to be perfect. But you have to learn to operate within imperfect circumstances with the goal of operational excellence. Because if you always strive for perfection, you're never going to get there. But if you strive for excellence, you can do the best that you can to the best of your ability within those parameters of what you're trying to do, and you can get to an outcome that is more in line with what you're trying to accomplish if you're always trying to do things with excellence. If you're trying to achieve excellence in whatever you're trying to do. I know that was a whole lot of words. I hope that wasn't like a word salad. But anyway, success, fulfillment, peace, momentum, all of it comes from knowing when to push and when to pause and step back and analyze what you're doing. Because if you keep forcing everything, you're just going to self destruct. You're just going to get burnt out and you're going to be an asshole to everybody around you. And on the opposite side of that is if you keep on waiting for clarity, life is just going to pass you by. You're never going to get there because you're constantly just waiting for the right time, or you're waiting to be in the mood to do something. And the mood is never going to come. Motivation never lasts. So you have to learn to do the thing without feeling like doing the thing. And that is how you make progress. And that is how you achieve difficult things. You have to do it when you don't feel like doing it. And if you have these big goals that you want to accomplish, you're never going to feel motivated 100% of the time to accomplish those goals. You have to do it when you don't feel like doing it. You have to do it when you're bored. You have to do it when you're tired. You have to do it when you're angry or upset. You still have to do it. That is the price that you have to pay for success. That is the price that must be paid for accomplishment. There's no other way around it. That price has to be paid. And if you're not willing to pay the price, then you're just not going to get there. And that's okay. Successful people are called the 1% for a reason. It's okay to not be in the 1%. If that is not what your calling is, if you're unable to make it through the difficult times, it's just not for you. And the faster you realize that, the faster that you can realize what you're truly made for, what truly sets your soul on fire. Maybe it's working and working within a company and building your piece of the pie within that company, because there's a certain level of satisfaction that comes with the clocking in and the clocking out. And that's perfectly fine. We live in this fake entrepreneurial culture that preaches that everybody has to be an entrepreneur. Everybody has to be successful in their own thing. And that's just wrong. You can be successful in a myriad of things that have nothing to do with entrepreneurship. You can be successful in whatever you put your mind to, and you are probably going to enjoy it more. So you have to stop comparing yourself to other people and thinking that this is something that you want to do, when really it's not really something that you want to do. You just saw this person doing it and you saw the material things that they got from it, and now that's what you want to do because you think it's going to equal the material things. But that's not how it works. You know, for somebody that truly accomplished it, first off, you can fake material shit on Instagram or social media or anything. Anything can be faked. But the people that really made it had to go through these sacrifices, had to pay these prices. So the first word of advice is make sure that you're not comparing your life to somebody that's faking their life. And now you think that you want to do something because of something that they're showing you, when the fact is they don't really have it and they're taking advantage of your desire for these material things. But anyway, that's a tangent. Back to what I was talking about. Just be sure when you go through life, you understand the energies that you're putting out. Understand whether you're in masculine energy or feminine energy, or what's necessary to guide you to accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So that's it. That's been the 12 universal laws. We're finally done with this series. I feel like it's taken forever, but whatever. I hope you've gotten something from it. If you're just seeing this video, there's 11 other videos concerning all of the other universal laws. So just to end with this, just know that you can accomplish anything. You can be exactly who you want to be. It does take effort. It does take change. It does take you getting uncomfortable, but you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely be, do, and have everything in this world that you want. I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you on the next video, whatever it's going to be.